Literature review is nothing, but it's like a gathering of information related to your research topic. So you will have a research topic. The literature review is just analyzing the previous works done related to that and coming to a conclusion or finding the gaps. So that is the first step we do when we start to write a research paper. So I would like to introduce you to some of the types of the literatures. When you talk about research papers and research articles, there are different types. So these are some of the types. So when you do a research, however, finally you are going to publish it somewhere, then only it will be worth. So these are some types. I don't know whether you are familiar with this. So I will just show the structures of this. So the first one is the abstract. So the abstract of a research paper would be something like this. So that will just have actually normally we have it as one page with the title, the author details, a small abstract, like a summarized version of your research work. So that will have a small introduction, a brief introduction, a methodology that will also be a brief methodology. Then finally, some conclusions of your research work. Then you will also have a keyword. So this is like the structure of an abstract publication. So for abstract, normally we publish it like this. And also we do some poster presentation. So in research, a poster would be like something like this. So it will have the title over here, the author details, and these sections, whatever you write in the research paper, similar to that, you will have some parts like this. So this would be a structure of a poster presentation. And this would be the structure of the abstract. Similar to that, we have something called extended abstracts. So extended abstracts structure would be something like this. So that is like a little big version of the abstract, but still it will have more details. Like here, this is like a template. So here you will have your title of your paper. Here you will have your names. That means your author names and your name or your supervisor's name, those kind of things. And here you will have your abstracts, the keywords. Then over here, you will have the introduction. So in an extended abstract, you will have a brief introduction, a brief about your related works, methodology, discussion, and finally the conclusion and references. So this will be like a extended abstract, and extended abstract will normally consist like 2 to 3 pages. Normally it will be like 2 to 3 pages. And then we have the full paper. So full paper, or we can also say it as conference proceedings or conference papers. So that thing will look like something like this. So again, extended abstract is a big version of abstract, and a conference proceeding or a full paper is a more big version of the extended abstract. So this is the structure of a extended abstract, sorry, a full paper. So I will explain this about the structure lastly about this full paper. So normally a full paper will have a minimum 5 to 7 And it can also go up to 10, 15 pages also. It depends on the conference or whatever paper you are publishing. So I will come about the structure later. And you also have journals. So journal articles are more, these conference proceedings or other things will be like a brief thing, but journal articles will be elaborated, the more with more explanations and all. So this will be the structure. Here also you will have your title, your author details. Then always we start with the abstract. So the abstract, the keywords, then each so in the previous session, I think you got this outline of a research paper structure. So the same structure, but the explanations will be more elaborated. So here you see, it's like almost 1 page. So like this, the journal articles will be something like this. And again, I am telling this the structure will be different based on the conference you are going to submit. So here you see this this look like 2 columns and the citations, these things. These citations are like in this format. So this is for this kind of IEEE based conferences. Here you can see the IEEE based conference structure or template looks like this with 2 columns and IEEE based citations, those kind of things. If you publish in another local conference, the structure would be different. So for each publisher or each conference, they will have a particular template and you have to arrange your research paper according to that. But more or less, the structure will be same for the full paper, and this will be the structure for your journal. Similarly, we have the thesis paper, thesis. So normally in final year of your bachelor degree or your MSc postgraduate degrees, we submit thesis. So thesis will be a more explanative form, more elaborated than the journals. So it will have almost more than 50 pages. So here you can see it has more than 100 pages. So it will be like a small book. You will have like a front page with the all your details, titles, your whatever affiliations, your university name. And then you will have something like a declaration, acknowledgement, and again the abstract. And also in thesis, you will have the table of contents, and it will be divided chapter by chapter. So you will have all the contents, table of figures, table of tables, and also you can have annexes. So here they have the annexes. After the references, you will have your annexes. So you can have your questionnaires. If you have done some questionnaires to your research, you can add those things as an annex. So this will be a structure for thesis. And review paper means it's something related to the full paper, but in review papers, we normally compare things like whether these 2 techniques or these 5, just analyzing 5 techniques and telling which is the best, for which we can use which. So that is kind of a comparison. So it is like a literature review. So that is a review paper. The structure is similar to a full paper. So now I will explain the structure of a full paper. So here you can see once your paper get published, you will find this information like where you have published, in which conference, and the date. Those kind of details will be in the header or footer sometimes it will be in the header section, sometimes you will find it in the footer. And here you will find the publisher name. So here the publisher is IEEE and the conference is this thing. Okay, so that is the structure of a full paper. So I will give another example as well. So here, this is another conference paper. And here you see in header section, we have those details. And also we have another in this side section, we have some other details. And in the footer also, we are having some other details. Okay. So give me a minute. Sorry for the disturbance. And again, we are going to have these kind of things in the header and footer. And here you see there is something called a DOI. So does anyone know about this DOI number? Any idea about this? What does this mean? Anyone? Okay, so once your paper get published, the publisher will give a number to identify your paper uniquely. So that is the digital object identifier. So that's what we call as DOI, digital object identifier. Okay, so that DOI number will also be given in some sections, like it can be either in the side or sometimes it will be in the header section. So these details will be put by your publisher once your paper get accepted and published. But when you are submitting your paper, you will only have these things like the title of your paper will be the first one. Then you will have your details of the authors, the name and their affiliation with their mail details. So then we will have these sections like abstract and introduction, those kind of things will be there. And the important thing is these keywords. So after the abstract, we will have to have the keywords. So that will help someone to identify your paper while searching. So you can use these keywords to search for your papers as well. And finally, we will have the references. That references will be the last part. So this is the structure of a full paper. Okay, so so these are the types of different literatures. So I wanted to introduce that because when you are going to download, you will find these different types. So normally it is better to go with these full papers. And if you want more explanations, you can also refer to these journals. So now we will see how we are going to search for the literatures. So first step, if you have decided your research topic, after deciding, the first step you need to do is to find the keywords related to your research topic. So for example, if I have a title like this, classification of leaves. using CNN, convolution neural network. So if I have a research title like this, if I have finalized my title, from this title, I have to get some keywords. So keywords means what are the words related to this, which I can use for searching. So can anyone suggest the keywords in this title? You can put it in the chat. The keywords related to this title. Can I get the answers? Okay, yeah. So here we can use different words. So from this it's like a sentence, this title. So from this you can use the word classification. So you are going to do a classification based research. So you can use classification as one keyword. So here the keywords will be classification. And you can also use leaves, convolution neural networks. And other than that, you can use some related words. So convolution neural network means something related to artificial neural network. Similarly, machine learning. So like this, some related words also you can try. So first you have to confirm your title. Then you have to create a list of keywords and it should be acceptable. So that should be something we can use to search. So any doubts regarding the keywords? If you have any questions regarding the things I explained, you can use the chat section. So here, after getting the keywords, we have to go and search for our to get the research papers, related research articles download. So these are the most famous and reputed sources to download your articles. So let's see one by one. So first one is the Google Scholar. So normally what we use to search, we use the Google search engine. So we normally use the Google to search any contents. So that is like it has everything related to everything in the world. But when we come with the research related things, we have to always go with the Google Scholar because it is specifically designed only for the scientific articles. So it is specialized in academic sources. So rather than having everything while you search in Google, you will get normal newspapers or irrelevant blogs related to that. But when you search in Google Scholar, you will get the proper academic based scientific results. So it will be a perfect place for literature review. So I will just show you. Just you can go to Google and you can type Google Scholar. So once you type, you will get the results. So you can go with the first results itself, Google Scholar, scholar.google.com. So that if you click that, it will redirect to the Google Scholar page. So this is again a search engine. Google Scholar is also a search engine, but it is specially made for like scientific articles. So I will come to the Google Scholar later. The second one is the IEEE Explore. So here also you can go and download the articles. Anyone familiar with IEEE Explore? Any members, IEEE members? You can interact through the chat or you can just raise your hands. Yeah, some of you are there, I think. So anyone familiar with this IEEE Explore, downloading articles or anything? All right, so you most of you don't have experience, I think. So I will just demonstrate like a quick demonstration. So this will be the IEEE Explore page. So you can see here, you will have different options. So here you can browse through like based on the books, conferences, journals, magazines, or you can also refer to the recently published things. Similarly, there are several options. And here you can see the featured authors and featured articles. So here also you can refer. And other than that, if you're going to search for a specific topic, you can search it here. So for an example, if you are going to search for like a machine learning technique, or let's say again, we can use the same classification of flowers. So this will be my research title. So just you can type your title or you can use the same keywords. Then you will find the research, results. Or if you want, you will get the results, and within the results, you can filter. So similar to what you do when in the e-commerce website like AliExpress or Daraz, you filter based on your preferences. In similar way, here also you can filter. So in this area, you see, you can filter based on the year. So if you want articles after a particular year and before a particular year, you can just give it here. So if I want articles for last 5 years, I can just type from 2019. So it will only give that articles within that mentioned year. And also you can search based on the other things as well, like authors, affiliation. So you can just try it. And here you will find the papers. And here also you will see the year which that particular paper is published and whether it is a conference paper or journal paper. So here all we got conference papers. Sometimes if it's like other things, here also it will be mentioned. And the publisher is IEEE, that's okay. And here the first line will be the title. Second will be the names of your authors. And the third detail will be about the conference it got published. So if you want to read it or if you want to download it, first you have to click here. Then it will redirect you to that article. And you will see an abstract of that research work. So normally what you have to do, if you have the title, first search. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. And once you find that research article, first you have to read the abstract. So once you read the abstract, you will understand whether you have to download it or not. So after doing that read abstract, then use this option PDF. But in you can't download it. So you can, if you are inside your campus network, that means if you are in the university and using that internet connectivity, here you can type your university name. So the name of your university. So if you are in the campus network, if you type, it will allow you to download for free, but some articles won't be able to download it. In that cases, you can purchase it. If you are an IEEE member, you will get a discount. Otherwise, you have to pay the full amount and download. So in IEEE Explore, it is not free to download. That is the problem. So in this way, you can search in IEEE Explore. And if you go into cite, like if you going to refer this article, here you see an option called cite this. So here, if you click this one, you will get the details of the citation. So I think in the next session, you will get the idea about reference and citations. So here you can use this cite this button to get the citations. Then the next one will be the Science Direct. So again, Science Direct is also another website where you can download the articles, research related articles, and that is owned by the Elsevier. So that is also a reputed publisher. So here you can get some good articles. Again, you can find articles here, or you can search it based on the keywords or the name of the author. So you can use anything and search, and you will get the articles. And here also, you can't download it for free, but you can read the abstract. And then if you want, you can download it in some way that I will tell it when we reach that section. So these are some places where you can download. So other than this, we have some other sources like Web of Science. So Web of Science is again a paid platform, but here we have more access to many other journals and articles. And another place is PubMed. So PubMed is also a free search engine, but it is mainly designed for mostly the medical related researchers. Those kind of people only use, mostly use PubMed. Sometimes we can also find some articles related to our work. The other thing, the most famous thing is ResearchGate. So ResearchGate is the other things like Google Scholar and like websites, but the ResearchGate is like a social networking platform. Like we have Facebook, Twitter. So those are like for normal use. But ResearchGate is a social networking platform for researchers. So here they can share their research works and also collaborate with other researchers. So I will show that ResearchGate also. Anyone had used ResearchGate before? So once it loaded, I will show you. So sorry for I think some of you couldn't hear.
Uh, Wait, she will join. Until she will join, so I will share that research gateway. So we will share the links to that ResearchGate and Google Scholar. So don't worry about this. So in the researchgate.net, you can sign up and create your own accounts. So I think, Amrita? Okay. So here, this is the home page. So here also like the Google Scholar. So this is just um, familiar GUI. It means that graphical design was very familiar to you because it's like looks like a Facebook profile something. So it's more user friendly than the graphical that Google Scholar. That's why we suggest this ResearchGate. And also here there are some more things like you can ask questions. So you can ask questions regarding the research. So you can ask questions and you can start a discussion like so if you have some idea, so the final year students who are starting their research idea, so you can just create a ResearchGate profile and then you can start a discussion. Or the third year and second year students, if you have some idea, so whether it can be a research or something, so you can start a discussion like I have an idea, so I am planning to do also create a discussion. Like here, there are some discussions. So the ResearchGate, there must be some professionals like the major researchers, professors all around the world, and they must be answers you because they are in the ResearchGate. Once you verify as your profile is verified, the all researchers in the ResearchGate must answer your discussions and questions. Okay, so you can create a discussion and you can get some ideas when you in your research. So I think you are familiar with that project details, right? When you have some errors, you are searching in the Stack Overflow or something, right? So for the errors, likewise, you can use this platform, the ResearchGate platform, as your research doubts and the discussions and the questions, as well as you, if you are publish something, you can put it here. So this is my profile. So okay, this is my profile. So you can update a nice profile to you. So in your research, so you can update your research works like if that is a conference paper, so if that's an article, just if you are not publishing anything, so just you can write an article like your thesis or something. You can in the article section you can publish as an article. And so if you have conference papers like this, you can put that conference papers, as well as you can link your co-authors also. So it's more than, so you can share data. So likewise, you can have some research ideas and research data also. Okay. So if you want some research, if you really want to become a researcher in future, or else if you want to do a best in your final year research, so better to create your research profiles, and then you can have like the novel ideas you can have, like, okay. So I guess Amrita madam will start in the network issue. So um, I will move to the my section. So thank you for Amrita miss. So if she will join in later, so she will continue her the middle section. But until then, we will move to the third session. Okay. So if you have any questions in the previous section, you can ask. So give me 2 minutes. Until then, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask. So I guess you don't have any questions. So let's move to the okay. So if you have any questions in the middle of my session, you can put it in the chat. So as well as if you want to clarify the doubts, you can hands up. Okay, in the reaction, you can put the hands up button. Okay. So so this is your third session. So it's regarding the research citations and the referencing. Okay. So am I audible, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So basically the research citation and referencing is the last part in the sense it's most important, but when it comes to the research thesis or the research writing, so the reference parts that earlier also that Amrita madam will Amrita madam show you some research papers, right? So there you will find some research citation and referencing as well. So I will share my slide. This slide I will share, and all other slides also I will share, and the recording also we will share. So once you get my slide, so you can get my research profile. So I link to my research profiles here. So basically, if you have any research ideas or any research domains related questions, you can ask once check my profile. If you have related doubts or questions, you can ask me whatever whenever you have. So I have to introduce myself. So I'm one of your recent joining lecturer to the Department of ICT. Myself, Premisha Premanandan. So in your future lectures, the final years, so you finish. So the third year and second year, I will teach some lectures, the subjects in the future. Okay, so we will contact. So yeah, so today we will discuss about what is plagiarism, first thing, then what is citation and the referencing styles, and the last there is a software, Mendeley, so a reference management system. So we will have a deep discussion on these topics. Okay, so before that, if you have earlier, if you have heard about plagiarism, so what do you mean by plagiarism? Can somebody tell? Another word or another familiar word regarding plagiarism?
Copy.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, so yeah, so basically plagiarism means when you copy small stuff from someone's, it calls as plagiarism. So when it comes to when it comes to your assignments and the normal reports, so the plagiarism when it comes to academics, so in the sense in the university practices, plagiarism is not allowed. So basically what we have to practice to you, I think in your earlier lectures also practice this thing. Don't copy from your colleagues, or it means the batchmates, as well as don't copy from your seniors, or else you can't copy from either online resources unless if you want to give a proper credits to that work. Okay, so the the plagiarism word derived from a Latin word, so it means basically that Latin word is plagiaro means thief. So if you didn't give any proper credits to that original owner, then it comes as a academic thief. So when it comes to assignments and the normal reports, it's not okay, but it's not that much affect your future career when it comes to the assignment and report. But be careful when it comes to the research theses and the research proposals as well as research related works. So when it comes to that research, when we find some plagiarism in your work, then it would affect your future career as well. So don't do this. Okay, so there are some bad evidences. If you have plagiarism, if you find, if in the research work, if you are a known or well professional in your research career, but if someone find your work plagiarist, then it will be a black mark to your career. Okay, so be careful when it comes to plagiarism. So the plagiarism is presenting a word or ideas of someone else as your own without proper acknowledgement. So basically plagiarism is needs to acknowledge that one. So if you want to uh, use that the earlier works or earlier ideas, you have to acknowledge properly. Okay, then if you didn't acknowledge properly, then those work comes under the plagiarism. Okay, so you can use the earlier works or the theories that our scientists found, that theories Newton's third law and likewise. So you can use that theories and the laws, but you have to acknowledge them properly. Then if you didn't acknowledge it, it will identify as a plagiarism. Now the academic in our university also, we will practice the plagiarism software. So I will show you how we identify your plagiarism report. So the final year students, be careful with your academic that final year thesis, research thesis. So in coming 2 or 3 months, you will submit your thesis, right? So be careful with the plagiarism stuff. When we find something in with plagiarism, so you have to, or your group needs to resubmit or need some, it's like a plagiarism, it's like a exam offense. If you bring a cheat sheet, it's equal to a plagiarism report. Like if we found that your research work copied more than the preferred amount of plagiarism, then it's related to the exam offense. Okay, so be careful with the plagiarism. So the third thing is when you work on a research papers, you have to you can use supporting materials like so in the research proposal presentation also we found some network related researchers, so they will use some earlier theories in the network. They can use some packet tracing theories and the packet tracing methods that already discovers and already practiced from someone's original's work, right? So you can use that one, but you have to give a proper citation. Then it didn't comes under the plagiarism. If that is a another person's work, if you cite them properly, it didn't comes under the plagiarism. Okay, so be mind these words. So this is we in academic nowadays we are using the Turnitin plagiarism detector. So it's uh, the most quality one. So you can't escape from Turnitin one. So this is the sample report of Turnitin. So 47% of similarity index. So in the academic, so when it submit your thesis, in your thesis you can't we can't accept more than 20% of the similarity index. Okay, which means it have to be less than 20. So if you have Turnitin account, so it means nowadays the dollar price increase, it will cost around 40,000 or 50,000. But earlier days it will cost less, so we will buy. But the academic we will use the Turnitin account. But you can't if you don't have Turnitin account, so you can't guess if you are copy from somewhere, we will find you very so in here also that now one means, wait, I will annotate. So this one, so this one, so indicates where the original or the location as well as the where the in your paper. So in this is a example screenshot. So in your paper where those lines and each word. So if you in this paper, if you copy a word here, the machine learning, so a word, a common word, right? So that word also comes under the if you copied from without a proper acknowledgement, it this work also comes under the plagiarism. Okay, so likewise it shows like how many words copied from this report or the original owner's work, and that percentage is in the total. So likewise the plagiarism report will give you. So don't play with your thesis. So be original. You have to write it by your own. Okay. So start from today. You the final year students, you have to start your thesis works as well. If you find a proper headings and the introductions and the literature review parts, you have to finish until when you can have pendings in the implementations, but you can't have pendings in the literature review and all the parts. If you put it as a pending, then we will ask you within the 1 or 2 weeks of time, we will ask you to submit your research thesis. So in that case, you will have some struggle. Okay, so be mind on that. So this is a sample plagiarism report from Turnitin. So you have to be careful with the plagiarism. So so far we will discuss what is plagiarism, right? So in this section, how can you avoid plagiarism, right? So there are two types you can avoid plagiarism. First thing is direct uh, techniques, and another types is indirect technique. So direct techniques in the sense quotations. So quotations in the sense within the quotations mark, like you familiar in the English, right? The reported speech, right? Someone says this in the within the says and full stop, you can have some quotation mark. Within that, you can put whatever the original or the declare, you can put. But in this manner, you can't do like all the in your research papers, you can't do all the things as a quotations. You can use one or two within the 20 or 17 pages of your research thesis report. In that report, you can use one minimum 5 quotations marks. More than 5 is not acceptable. Okay. So like the Newton's third law, each reactions have its opposite reactions. So that's a law, right? So in that law, so we can't have some summary work, so we can't have some other paraphrasing. So you, in that case, you can use quotations to avoid the plagiarism, right? So within the quotation mark, you can put whatever you can put. The plagiarism detected didn't detect. Okay. But be careful if you have more than 5 or 3. So according to your words limit, if you have more than that amount, it will detect. Okay. So the direct techniques to avoid plagiarism is you can directly put the quotation marks. So when it necessary only. So in the Newton's case, so it's a Newton's law. So we can't paraphrase or we can't summarize that. So you can directly use Newton says this in the quotations mark. You can put like 1 or 2 lines only, or minimum 5 to 10 words only. You can't give a paragraph as a quotations. Okay. So be mind on that also. Then the indirect one. So typically we have to use these indirect techniques. So indirect techniques, basically we can have the first thing is summarizing. So in earlier sessions also that Amrita madam and Brinda Miss said that you can, when it comes to each paragraph, so that research papers, those each paragraphs can have, in when it comes to the literature review, you can have a summarize. So you can summary paragraph as a, when it comes to a research paper, you can summary that one and put it as a paragraph, and you can give a proper citation. So then it didn't comes under the plagiarism. So summarizing means you can't copy. Okay. Sometimes normally what we have to do is, as a students, we also did that. Earlier days, what we have to do, when we download a research paper, we copy 1 or 2 lines from abstract and 1 or 2 lines from introduction as well as result and this conclusion, then put it as a paragraph and just we cite that we get these data. So we cite this as one, cite this as a paper. So you can't do like those activities, because nowadays we that Turnitin I show earlier, right? So you can't do that work. So you have to read all the papers thoroughly, then you have to summarize by your own words what in the papers, what the authors identified, what's the problem the authors identified, what the techniques they used to resolve that. Likewise, you have to summarize. Okay. So one technique is summarizing, and second technique is indirect technique is paraphrasing. So paraphrasing in the sense, summarizing in the sense by your own words. So you can change the structure. Just you can put the problem, and then you can put the conclusion. After that also you can tell these techniques they are used. But when it comes to paraphrasing, you have to follow the order of the paper, as well as you can change the words. Change the words in the sense, just copy the paragraph and change the some words from that paragraph. That's not the paraphrasing. So paraphrasing in the sense, you have to write it by your own, but in the appropriate words you have to change your easy words. So when it comes to the professional researchers, so they will use some hard words. So in that case, you can use similar words. So that comes as an indirect plagiarism techniques. So the third thing is citation. So basically, how to avoid from plagiarism is you have to give summarize, you can paraphrase, but when you summarize, you have to give the original creditors or original creators credits, like where you summary that paper. So what the who's the one say these lines. When it comes to quotations, you have to cite in this paper, in that author name and which year say that law or say that thing. So you have to cite well. So a citation identifies for the reader original source for an idea or information. So you can use the previous works and ideas, but you have to give a proper citations, as well as you have to have some proper plagiarism avoiding techniques. Okay, then only you can use that papers and previous works. So there are two sections. So when it comes to citations, those citations are in-text citation. It means when it comes to the paragraphs or the sentence, it may be within the sentence or within the paragraphs or end of the paragraphs or end of the sentence, you can cite. Okay. So second thing is the summary of the cited works, or we called as a references. So the earlier section also, when you have some reference research papers, you can have where it's cited, and after that all those citations are summarized in the end of the paper as references. Okay, so before that, wait, I will show you a paper, so you will have some idea of how that. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. So here the name and the year. So this is a citation in sorry. So wait. Can you able to see, right? Here that author name and the year. So this is a index citation. So they use some words or idea from the previous work, so they cite them properly. So it didn't detect as a plagiarism, right? So it may be within the paragraph or end of the sentence. So here end of the paragraph. So end of the paragraphs, that full stop needs to be after that citation. Okay, every time the full stop needs to be after the citation. So here end of the middle of the paragraph, but end of the sentence they cite. Okay, so likewise you can have your cited works. So this is a citation style. So one of us citation style, I will discuss this one. So in the end of the paper, those cited works summarized as a references. So this is one type of citation method. So there are a lot of reference styles and citation styles. So I will discuss in next slides. Okay, so you have some idea where those stuffs are cited and how can we cite those, right? So in your proposal presentation also, I asked some questions, right? You put some references, but you didn't have a proper citation. Okay, so in presentation also you can use that citation, right? So if this is a law, so if this is a, so when it comes to that numbers, the world population is this number in 2019. Someone identified the world population, the World Bank or WWH identified the world population like this amount. Then you have to put the citation. Then only that count is acceptable, because that's a general thing, right? So if you use some percentage, so when it comes to some researchers, so you can use some percentage in the world, 20% of age groups are affected by this disease. Then you have to have some citation from where you have to copy that percentage. So you must be put, when it comes to presentation, research presentation as well, you have to cite. Okay. So don't worry about the styles. I will teach you in the next slides. Okay. So the next thing is, why do we need to cite? So you can think, right? Why do we need to cite? Just this is my research and this is our group research. So when we can't have some peer works or something, then why do we need to cite? So first thing is, why do you need to cite is avoid the plagiarism. So earlier I said, so if you know or don't know, you can copy something from somewhere, so it show as plagiarism. So you have to proper summarize those words and summarize those ideas, then you have to put a proper citation. Second thing is, this is the right thing to do. So you are academics. So in the academic students, you now only you start your futures. So when it comes to companies, or else when you are going to become a lecturer or something, so that's the best practice to do. If you find something plagiarism in your research work in your final year, so it will affect your whole career. Okay. Then if you cite someone's work, then only we can I understand you have searched something on that research. So in the research proposal presentation also, we found something that you guys just copy the text of references and put it in the end of the slide, but you didn't cite, or but you didn't use any knowledge or any numbers or any percentage from that papers, but you just write your own words and then just put the references in the end of the slide. So that's not the best practice. So if you don't have to use some numbers or something, then if you use the presentation and by your own words, then you don't need to put the reference for to escape, like there is a slide need to be referenced. So don't do that. Okay. So you have to, so in your thesis also, how much the amount of references and the amount of citation, so how much you put efforts on the title. So each time if you find a title, you have to research on that title, because there may be the same researchers or same related researchers you can find, right? So you have to have, if you find something related, don't worry, just go through that papers, read that, and if you can find something you can improve from that research, then you can do that as a research. So don't worry if you find something related to your research. Okay. So helps people to find the sources. So if you cite something, so in that previous section also, we can't I already said that when it comes to citation, just a summarizing thing. So you just want some end of the knowledge, but when you cite, another one who read your work may have more knowledge than you in the original paper. So for the professional ethics, you have to cite. When you have to cite only, so in here also, like so let me share. So in this paper, so in this paper, they cite, right? So in this, let's take, this is a paper they cite as conceptual and operational definition. So when it comes to this paper summary, so they just use one paragraph, but you can click that reference name and you can go and get that paper and read that paper, because sometimes the idea is clear rather than this paper. Using that reference paper, in that paper that author will clearly explain that concept, right? So better to search, better to cite to get a proper understanding of your reader, right? So these are the things, why do we need to cite? Okay. So this one I already discussed in text citation. So this is an in-text citation. So end of the paper, the summary of the reference, so cited works should be the end of the paper. So this is a one style of reference and citation. So this is not the style that in our university practice, Vavuniya University, you have to practice IEEE format. So this is American standard format. So I will teach you how you can find those styles. So earlier I also discussed when do you need to cite. So quotation. So someone said if you use that 2 or 3 sentence or 1 or 2 sentence without changing any words, then you have to quote. So in the paper title, the person or the name, within the quotation mark, you can say this is that author said. And paraphrasing in the sense, if an idea or information comes from another source, even if you put it in your own words, mind, if you put it in your own words, you still need to credit the source, okay? Because that original idea is from someone, right? So you have to put it the citation. And then general and unfamiliar knowledge. So basically, if that is a general knowledge, we don't need to cite. So in earlier days, if that world is round shape, so in the start of the 19th century or 18th century, so in that time, that world is a round shape is a unfamiliar knowledge. So in that time, the researchers need to cite. But nowadays, it's a general, right? Our world is a round shape, is a general knowledge. So you don't need to cite that general knowledge. But if nowadays there is something, right, in the COVID cases, there are some arguments like the COVID's originally from the monkeys or from the vowels or something. So in that case, you have to, this is an unfamiliar knowledge, right? For our era, this is an unfamiliar knowledge. In that case, you must cite that knowledge because that is unfamiliar. Okay. So you have to cite the unfamiliar knowledge, not the general knowledge. So general knowledge, when it comes to general knowledge, just what you say in your networks or something, some theories, right? When you use some theories, you don't need to mention you don't need to cite. But when it comes to some critical theories in the network, like packet tracing, this amount of speed will have some more packet missing system. So that is an unfamiliar knowledge, right? So what is packet tracing? You don't need to cite. But when it comes to some speed and numbers related stuff, you have to cite, right? That's an unfamiliar. And then you can cite either conference papers, books, articles, even the websites that worldwide. So when it comes to health related researches, usually we have that what's that World Health Organization, WHO reports. So when we use that reports, we can use that, we can cite. Okay. So as well as if you use some images, tables from someone work, if you use that tables, images, or you have to give a proper citation. Okay. So this is for citations and the referencing part. So I already discussed there are a lot of referencing styles. So what you have to know is only the IEEE. So IEEE citation, IEEE referencing style is the one you have to use when it comes to your research thesis and the presentations. Okay. And there are some the conferences, some maybe use the APA referencing and Harvard referencing, Oxford referencing. There are a lot of referencing styles. Okay. So we will see that one. So wait. So you have to familiar with the IEEE format, right? So in here, there is a education library. There you can have some idea of some kind of the referencing styles. Okay. So here, referencing specific referencing style guidelines. So you have to go with the IEEE. So when it comes to IEEE, there are some formulas. When it comes to manually, if you want to put citations and references, you have to follow these the guidelines from the IEEE. Okay. So when you have to use that manual citations, manual referencing, there may be a lot of chances to error. Okay. So that's why we don't so you can refer these stuffs. I will share the slides and those links. When you click that slides, you will have that links, right? So this is hyperlinked, so you will have that format, so you can read those stuffs and you can have the idea of IEEE format. Okay. But we don't need, because nowadays there are a lot of softwares to automatically put your citations and the referencing. Okay. That's the good practice, because when it comes to a research thesis and the conference papers, we always refer more than 10 to 15 papers. So when it comes to journals, 15 to 30, 20 papers. So if that case, if you are put that reference and citations manually, there are a lot of chances to incorrect formats. Okay. So you so better you have to use the automatic referencing management formats. Okay. So far, do we have any questions you can ask? Otherwise, there is a hands-on session for the Mendeley software. So it will be interesting. So so far, if you want something to clarify, you can ask. The final year students. So I can see, like in the proposal presentation also, you didn't use the citations properly. Someone didn't use citations, they just put the references. But some students just put the numbers after the full stop of sentence. Some students put the reference they cite, but there is no need to cite. If there is a place like uh, the normal stuff, so there you don't need to cite, but they just put a number and it looks they just imitate, they just use some citations and references. So don't practice that one, the third year and second year students as well. Don't practice that one. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat as well. So I guess you all are clear about this. So we will looking forward to your final thesis. I hope you have the proper citations and the reference, right? We'll see. So this is the referencing and citation automation part. So automation, since we use some tools and softwares. So the mostly used software is Mendeley to put a reference, as well as there are some old softwares like EndNote, like some kind of softwares are there, but those softwares are not user friendly. So it means they are not GUI based, the graphical user interface based. So for my practice, as well as the most of the current researchers are practice Mendeley. So that's why I introduce you to Mendeley. So in the Mendeley, there's a desktop version. So you have to, so when after I share these slides, just click on that link. So in that link, you will have a Mendeley website. Okay. So in that website, first thing you have to create an account. Okay. So when it comes to the research parts, don't use your the duplicate Gmails or unauthorized Gmails or something. Always use your proper Gmail and proper names. Create the accounts with your proper full names and all the stuffs. Okay. So first you have to create an account. So it's just a normal procedures. You are familiar with that Facebook and other stuffs, right? So you have to create with your email. Give your proper email address, full names and other stuff. Then once you create the account, then you have to sign in. Okay. After sign in, you will have a screen like this. There's a place to wait. I will annotate this. Yeah. So you will see, right? So there's a place to download Mendeley Desktop for Windows, as well as if you are a Mac user or a Linux user, you can click the other options. Okay. So this is for the desktop Mendeley Desktop Windows version. So you can click on that. So once you click a normal procedure like other softwares installation procedure, right? So once you click, there's an ea.txt file which downloads here. So if you download that file, it looks like something this, right? Here. So there's an application.txt file, looks like Mendeley desktop version. Okay. So once you get your application, click on that. So when you click on that, there's some installation procedures, I agree procedures. So I already download this one. I already installed that one. So I don't think so. So just you can go through that. That's a very easy procedure. So once downloading, if you have any issues, you can contact me. Otherwise, it's just a normal procedure. You can search YouTube also. So no need to YouTube. Just download the application. Just click. There is an the path customization and the desktop icon creation. So just click and go to next, and then finish. Okay. After finishing that, you will see in your desktop. Sorry. I hope you can see my desktop once I share my screen. So there here, Mendeley desktop version. Okay. So with this icon, red color icon, you will have your Mendeley desktop. Okay. So once you install, just click on that Mendeley desktop. Okay. So this is your Mendeley desktop screen. I hope you can see my screen, right? The Mendeley screen, the app screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the top corner, so this is my profile. So once you sign in, you already create your Mendeley account. So basically you have to remember your Gmail which you are using to create the Mendeley account, because this is looks like a Gmail or something, Google Drive. So you can share these things with some other users, but here we mostly prefer the Gmail as a username, right? So you have to know your Mendeley, what is your, when someone asks you to, when it comes to research professional domains, if you in the research gateway also, if someone interact with you, one foreigner, like if you have some research related questions, so you put it in the ResearchGate.net or profile, so some foreigner can interact with you and just ask him he can ask, give me your Mendeley username or give me your Mendeley profile, I will share some references with you. So likewise we can have a chat with when it comes to research domain, we are very particular about Mendeley username as what your Gmail. Okay, so you have to remember your Gmail. So this is the a nice GUI. So when it compare with the EndNote, so this is very user friendly. So in here, like the other applications as well, so this is the profile section, so you can sign in and sign out, so you can sign in another account as well. If you have if one of your friend wants to sign in, you can log out your account and he can sign in. So this is very useful. So if there is a scenario, so I add my references. So when it comes to my researches, so I worked in many researches, so I have more than 50 to 100 papers. So when it comes to a sudden scenario, once I am in the traveling, so I don't have my laptop, so my friend has his laptop. So in that time, my supervisor, when he or she asked to share a reference paper, so in that time, what you have to do is, when you know your Gmail and the password of Mendeley, so in your friend's laptop also you can sign in. Once you sign in, where whatever the place, you can get your profile. Like this is a virtual like your virtual drive. So normally we stored our papers in your drive, right? So you can store it in your Mendeley. So the best practice is, you are the final year students, you are working in a group, right? So it's a best practice. So first thing is, in the that profile section, my library section, so the external library, there's a group. Okay, so you can create a group, like name your group, what's your group, chatbot, Vaunia Juni. Likewise, you can create a group. After creating, you can invite. So for that, you have to have your group members Mendeley usernames, that email address. So in your group, if you have 4 to 5 members, you can collect their email address which they use to log in their Mendeley. That email, when you enter that email, then you can send an invitation. So it looks like a Google group. So so always you have to create a group, then you have to invite. Once you before you add those research papers within the folder. Okay, you can't invite or you can't share the folder after upload your papers, right? You have to invite and you have to share the folder before add those, update your research papers, right? So this is a group creation. So if you are working on individual research, so you can go to the my library section. This is external library section. You will find group. So if you are working on the individual research, you can create a folder. So this is my research. So here, when you click that create folder, you can just type your folder name. There, when you click that my research, here I am within my research folder. Here you can add another folder. So sorry, So within that, you can create another folder. So my research, this is a demo folder. Okay. So likewise, this is looks like your computer hierarchy, right? So you can create folders, you can create groups. So this is easy to work. So if you upload all your papers within this, it's easy whenever you can read it. So once you when you are in our faculty university lab also, if our laptops or if our PCs have manually account, so you can just sign in and get your paper. So no need to bring it in a pen drive or all. When it comes to the lot of paper, so you can bring it in a pen drive as well. So this is a great reference management system, right? So here in my research folder, I create a demo folder. Within that, I have to add some papers. So those papers, first thing, you have to download in your local machine. Okay. So I already download some papers to show you. So here, so you can add those papers. So in the desktop, I just create a Mendeley. So here I download some papers to show you, right? So I click, so you can add the paper. So I just want this paper only, then you can just click this and open. But I want all the papers in this folder. So I click select all and open. So once you open, it's the 6 papers automatically added to my folder. So once it added, when you click the sync, it sync to my account. So whenever I sign in, these papers are in my folder. Okay. So you have to add your papers in this folder. Then you have to sync with it. So once you sync with it, so if that folder is shared with someone, so once you sync only, that person can have these papers. So don't forget to sync. Okay. So once you sync, so here also you can this reference management system acts as a PDF viewer also. So when you click this paper, just view. So this is a paper. So these are the titles and these are the headings. So once you read this paper, so you can have some ideas of the year published. So you can cite year wise, or you can cite downloaded time wise. So you can cite the author's name. So you can sort it out. So it's very easy to sort. Okay. So once you read the papers, you can add notes also. So if you want to add something in this paper, so when you click this, so I want to add something. This so in your this is important to you because you all are working as group. So one member need to highlight this one. So he can highlight this one and put a note also. Please refer this. Likewise, you can comment or you can put a note. So this is a great management system when it comes to reference, right? So so first we create a folder, then we upload the files. Are you all clear in this section? Can I move to the next? Is that right, or do I need to do it again or something? Because you have to use this software. So if you have a clear idea or clear guidance, then only you can do it by yourself. Is that okay? Can I move to the next?
Okay.
Okay. So once you upload, first thing you can check whether the papers have some duplicates. It means you don't have a duplicate paper. It means some conferences, some authors can publish with the the same authors publish the same paper with some small changes in the title, but the same papers. So when it comes to these titles, it looks like 2 different papers. But when you check for duplicates, it will show how many duplicates are there. Here, there is no any duplicates. So I just put something. Oh, wait. So I had something to show you the duplicates. So here, this is my document. So when it comes to duplicate checks, so for that, you have to be clear, those folder is selected. After that, within the tools, there is a check for duplicates. So when you click that, here, one set of duplicates found in the folder, right? So here, it maybe have some different headings, but the content and the authors are the same. So it looks like a duplicate. So you can remove that. So one set of duplicate found. So you can just remove that. When you click that one, it just remove. Okay. So likewise, you can manage. So when it comes to your research papers, you can manage to avoid your duplicates, because normal system we can't find, because if there is same title, there's no any same title that our normal local drive show as a different paper. But when it comes to internal content only, we can find is that duplicate or same. Okay, so yeah. So before that, before go to the citation, so this is a desktop application, right? The desktop application, you can upload the files, you can manage the groups, you can share something, and you can use as a PDF viewer, and you can add notes, and you can check with the duplicates. But when it comes to citation means you have to use this paper in your research work. For that, first thing, you have to sync with your Word document, because they are you are going to write your research thesis, right? So first thing, you have to go to your Mendeley desktop. Before that, you have to close your Word file. Okay, so be careful. First, you have to close your Word file, then go to your Mendeley desktop. Mendeley, in the tools, there's a in the second section, install MS Word plugin. So it means this is a plugin which introduced by the Mendeley. So using Mendeley, you can automatically cite the reference papers. You can automatically cite as well. You can automatically put the references. So for that, we have to download one Word plugin for the Mendeley. So for that, within the tools, you have to install the, if you didn't install plugin, it shows as a install MS Word plugin. So you have to click on that. You can see, right? In the tools, there is a install MS Word plugin. So I already installed, that's why it shows as uninstalled. So you can click the install MS Word plugin. After that, you have to start your Word, open your Word. Then after that, there is in the Word, the toolbar, there is a reference tab, right? References tab. In the references tab, there is a section for the Mendeley Word plugin. This is called as Mendeley Cytomatic. So this is a plugin. It will automatically connect your Mendeley account. So once you sign in, so you can write your thesis and you can cite it here. So let's take an example. So for the moment, I just type something. So yes, I copy. Don't do this. So I just want to demonstrate. So this is my thesis, right? So some title. So I want to write a paragraph. So in here, there is some, I already discussed. So where do you need to cite? So one citation, if it may be within the paragraph or within the sentence, but it before the full stop, you need to cite. So here I need to cite, right? So you have to know what paper need to cite. That's your issue. So I know what paper need to cite here. So once you write your thesis, here I need to cite, right? So for that, before the full stop, you have to put your cursor, right? Here I put my cursor in before the full stop. Here you have to click that insert citation, right? Here there are two options. In the insert citation, you can just type, if you remember the paper name, you can just type and search. But the best thing is just insert citation, click the insert citation, then there's an option called go to Mendeley here, or click that one. So once you install your Word plugin, it will connect your Mendeley desktop as well as your Word document. So it will automatically redirect you your Mendeley desktop app. Here, so this paper I want to cite, right? So you have to know which paper want to cite, where do you need to cite. So those things you have to know. So here, what you have to do is, you have to cite this paper, right? So once you click this paper, here, once you click only, here, there's option called cite. You can see, right? Here, sorry. Once you click only, here, sorry, I click that. So here, sorry. Give me a minute. Okay, so you have that you have to come up with, when you move your cursor in the proper place, you have to open your Mendeley. Then once you click this paper, so I have to add this paper as citation uh, uh, on that place. So you have to click on that paper. Then you can see a cite option. So just click on that. So here it will cite. Wait. Yeah, so here, so for before that, you can so before or after, you can customize the style. So these are the styles of the reference and citation. So IEEE is the one you have to use in Baunia University. So we are practicing IEEE format. So that's the command. So there are some, if there is a conference, so some conferences are now using APA format. So this APA format, it shows the year and the author name automatically. So when it comes to IEEE format, it just number. So this is the first citation. So if you cite something in the end of the para, So you have to put the full stop. Before that, you have to put your cursor and you have to insert the citation. So go to Mendeley. So I cite this one, click the cite. So it will add as a 2. Okay. So first citation and second citation. So this is the citation method. So you can change the citation options, the styles of citations. Okay. So you have to practice the IEEE. So after that also you can write something and you can cite whatever you want. You can cite and you can cite the same paper again here. So the first paper I already cite, but I have to cite the again also that paper thing. So it will count as a 1 only. The same paper I have to cite here also. So just so I have to full stop and then just okay. So you can use the citation. So once you finish the works, you have to you have to give your reference, right? So when it comes to references, just give your references, then enter. There's a tab called insert bibliography, right? Once you the citations are using the Mendeley, once you finish put those citations, you have to, after the references, you have to put your summary of all citations as a reference, right? So for that, just click on this insert bibliography. So it will put your references. So no any so you don't need to, when it comes to the manual stuff, I already, the previous slide I talked, right? So in the manual stuff, what you have to do earlier days, they have to read the paper, then they have to get there. So they have to know the exact format when it comes to IEEE. First thing is author name. Second thing, within the quotations mark, there is a paper title. Then who are the publisher, the volumes, page numbers, then the DOA. Likewise, there are a lot of stuff we have to put when it comes to manual references. So after the endpoint and Mendeley, it will make it will more easier. So here we don't need, but you have to have an idea. So in IEEE format, what type we have to use, the author name first and the number format citation. So those things you have to know, the basic, right? So here also, so some PB means that page numbers. So the when it comes to journals and the book chapters, so they have thousands of pages. So for the ease of finding, you can say within these page numbers, this reference book chapter or something we refer was there. So likewise, so here like this you can refer and cite. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So I will share the links and the I will share the slides. In the slides, you can find the links as well. So if you want to clarify something, you can ask. If you want something to clarify. Or do you have any comments like, is it good, bad, or something? So I hope you don't have anything to ask. So if you have any questions, you can just, this is my mail ID. So you can just, regarding the Mendeley and the stuff I did today. And if you have any inquiries while downloadings and sightings and other stuff, you can ask. So in the Mendeley desktop also, this is older version. So a long time we use this version. So from September 1st, 2022 onwards, this app or this the downloading side will be changed to another thing. So I will show you that one also. So for the moment, the stable version is this Mendeley desktop. But after September 1st, regarding the review of the second version, is the beta version of Mendeley is now we are using. So that's called Mendeley Reference Manager. So it looks like some, this is the Mendeley reference version. We are using this one now as well. So after if that beta version is successfully, if they get the reviews successfully, so they will remove the Mendeley desktop app. So don't worry about that. If you are, for the moment, you can just download the desktop, Mendeley desktop. So after September 1st only, so you can sign in and use this app, but after some times, if that beta version is successfully run, only they remove that previous version. So I use both. So you can see the difference, right? So this is Mendeley desktop. So it has some issues, the syncing and other stuff. So it has some no loads. So when you add more papers, it has no loads, and some when you familiar with the app, it will more ease to use than the Mendeley desktop. So we'll see. So if you don't, yeah. Okay, thank you. I have some valuable comments from you. So wait, I'll have some polls related to this session. So just spend you please spend some 1 to 2 minutes to fill this poll. So it's for our purpose. So I think you can see the poll, right? The survey, yes. So please fill it, and if you have any questions in the meantime, you can ask. So I guess here the final year students and the third year and second years are there. So first of all, thank you. I think that internship will be hard for you because you have to manage both work and research as well. So be in touch with your supervisors. Talk to your supervisors, talk to your ideas, what kind of progress you are in. So most probably in the August, you will have both internship progress presentation as well as the research presentation and research thesis. So when it comes to groups, don't give all the works to one person. So if you are a person who can implement or who have a more technological knowledge, so you can have technological part, and who are good in English, so who they can manage the literature review and the presentation part, and who are doing some researchers and who have the IEEE accounts, you can have some referencing part and Mendeley. Likewise, you can divide and work. And if you have any question, you can contact us, Amrita madam and Prindavi madam and me as well. So if you have any questions regarding your research as well. Or else if you fill that form, you can leave. Thank you for your time. And second year and third year students, so you will have more sessions in this. So don't worry about this if you don't understand anything. So please, the final year students, please install the Mendeley today itself. Otherwise, you will forget the steps. If you can fill the survey, you can leave, and thank you for your time and patience.
Thank you, ma'am.